All right. So, so do the walking and the stretching. And then as far as the workout, so if you do the breathing, try to do like 5 of the exercises slow. Just do them slow. It doesn't matter how fast I'm going in the workouts. Just do them slow to kind of get the habit of that going. So do 5 slow and then try to speed them up and see how you do. That's totally normal. I mean, especially some women can do it easier and some women are like, well, I don't even know. Because the kickboxing video I put in there that the other day, the lady was like, yeah, I'm just not real coordinated. So some women, it's like those old step workouts that people used to do. And it's like, what? Wait, where am I going? And so that can be the same thing with the breathing. Yeah. So
I think that's where I struggle is because like I am coordinated, and it's like I usually pick up things really quickly. And so it's frustrating.
Yes. Well, it's because this is not what you have done for years. I am totally asking you to do everything different. So I tell women too, because don't worry so much about if you're like, I can't do this at all, then what you need to do is don't worry about when you're doing the exhaling and the inhaling. Let's just get your diaphragmatic breath right. Let's get inhale, exhale, right. Okay, because a lot of women aren't breathing with their diaphragm anyway. And so when you're working out, you're probably more like this, naturally. Maybe, unless you're not a chest breather, but that's not normally the culture of us. So, okay, so then, so do 5 slow and then pick that up. Do faster, and then the walking and the stretching. So that's what I would suggest. Now, how are you on breathing, the connection, the breathing homework and the wrapping homework? Have you been doing that?
Yeah, I think pretty good.
Okay.
I think the only thing I really struggle with is like, and I was going to look up, I think you had mentioned on a short video you posted yesterday about the sucking in versus engaging the abdominals. Like I tried to look up that video, but I couldn't find it.
You can't find it? Okay.
I looked under resources and important extras, but
okay. Hopefully it hasn't gone away. So let me make a note of that. And I can just post that in the Facebook group, and that way you will have it.
Okay. And I think I was like, whenever I breathe out and, lift the pelvic floor in engage the TVA, like my upper abdominals would kind of engage a little bit anyway. Okay. But I think I was thinking confusing that with like sucking in maybe. So I'm like, are we not supposed, are the upper abdominals supposed to contract a little normally with that or not?
With the breathing?
Yes, with the like exhales. Okay.
Because the transverse abdominal, it runs, all here.
Yeah.
So it's all going to come together. And honestly, that's really great that you do that because a lot of women can't get that engagement up there. So are you even open above your belly button at all?
I think that's where I'm open, but
okay.
Well, because that's what, like, after I had my first, and I lost a lot of weight. I did Weight Watchers after I had her and walked a ton and did that. And I still looked pregnant. Like my upper abdomen was just really, like I'd stand up and it'd just be hard, like stick out and be hard. But if I laid down, it would just be like, squishy, and it would hurt if anybody my daughter fell on it or something.
Yes.
And if I did a crunch, I would cone, but I didn't know what it was. But
okay.
So that's just my guess, I guess.
Well, so getting those ribs in and down, first of all, when they come down, you should feel that engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you are doing that, like I said, you're feeling that engagement with those abs up there, that's good. because if it's the TVA's coming together up there, that's really good. Do you feel the engagement at your belly button or below?
Like on the exhales,
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, I do, like the lower abdomen, like on the sides, like,
Okay.
like on the front sides, like not
Okay, I got you.
straight down.
And do you feel like it's an ab workout?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So she's like my pen, my little girl got. She's like, why'd you grab my pen? I said, I don't know. I just grabbed it. It was right there. Okay. So you're feeling that. And how's the wrapping feel?
Okay, I mean, good, I guess. It just kind of hurts my arms or whatever, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
another thing that you can do is you could do like, do you have a robe or just a belt or scarf or anything that you can pull around and tie it? You can like that.
Oh, okay.
With that, if it gets too hard, you know, but make your abs work more than your arms. I mean, push your arms. I mean, you are going to feel that with your arms, but make sure like here, if you have here, right?
Yeah.
If I let go, I'm still engaged.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I relaxed. So just see if you can, you know, I always say, see if you can keep that engagement. But that's just, you know, it kind of gives you a great mind-body connection of how that's supposed to feel when you do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I think you're doing great. Yeah. So just slow those down. Just do 5 slow and you'll be like, okay. And then pick it up and see if you can do it. Because I don't want you to be like, well, I just can't do it then. Maybe in a perfect world that would be great, but it's not. So I just want you just practice and practice and practice. So next week we'll kind of come back to that and see how your breathing coordination is with everything. It's kind of like this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else, or is that good?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. So since that is that, then I'm going to start here with you. All right. So let me find my little notes here. Okay. What we'll do is we'll do like some mindset stuff and everything this morning and just kind of get you going to create. So what I want you to do first is, and you can take notes on this, is number 1, I want you to create a vision for what you want to see accomplished in this 8 weeks. And this is going to be for physical, this is going to be for spiritual, for emotional. You're going to create a vision. Because without a vision, we perish. So we need a vision.
So this is, what'd you say, spiritual, emotional?
And the physical, yeah. And make them to where it's not like, you know, in 8 weeks, it's not so like
unattainable or
right. Because I don't want you, but I want you to also, after you do that, so you'll create a vision for the 8 weeks, but then I want you to also create visions for everything else that you want. Like, so, but how we're going to do that, I'm going to break that in steps for you here in just a second. Okay. So I had this all written down in an easier form, and I thought it was right here. It's better than just this. Hang on, let me just look real quick and make sure. This is where this is. Okay, so you're gonna first, do you do vision boards?
I've seen them. I haven't ever done one.
So I want you to create a vision because, all right, here's why. God gave us an imagination. And what do we normally imagine? So is it usually good things or is it usually bad things?
Yeah, bad for me.
Okay. So, but that's not why he gave us that. Okay. But he created us to have an imagination because if we can see it, then we can grab a hold of it and we can have faith for it. And then we can get it. But see, what the enemy does is he has us imagine every little detail that could go wrong, you know, about everything in our lives. And we can actually vision that. I mean, I know that I have. I can be like, if I don't hear from my son in a timely manner, right? Boom, I can like start thinking, what happened? Was there a car wreck? Was blah, 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 blah. And, you know, all these little visions that you can have. So what I'm saying is use your imagination to create these visions that you want. And you're going to start getting into a habit of getting out of the imagination the enemy wants for you and have the imagination, the vision that God wants for you. That's what's going to change your life. Your beliefs and everything are going to change your life. So every time you tell me something, I'm going to challenge you and go, hang on, let's back up and let's rethink what this could be. So I'm going to stretch you. That's why you're here. Stretch you. So you're going to create a vision, and I want you to be able to see it. So you could do this. You could do a little, you know, those little composition journals.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? So you could go on Pinterest and even like get pictures of what you like. You can create a secret vision board. I have a secret vision board that's just for me to see. And you can print those off, and you can actually glue them onto your top of your journal. So every time you look at it, you're seeing it every single day. Or you can do something like, you know, hang those up somewhere. But the purpose of it is you actually want it to work for you and not just set it and forget it. Okay, so I know that sounds crazy, but I just want you to do a vision board. And so you're going to create a vision, you're going to create a vision board. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do, now let me see which one I want you to do first. Because our vision, number one, is so powerful. It just really is. And you can even, you know, have visions for walking in your true identity, walking in who God really created you to be. You know, have, you know, just set a goal. Because us moms, we tend to have so many things coming up at once at us, like just so many things.
Yeah.
That's okay. But you could, what you're going to do is you're going to have, this is kind of 5 things that you want for your goals and your vision. Okay. And the reason I say 5 is because you could do 10 if you wanted, but I like to say 5. And how you're going to do these is you're going to make each goal personal. Okay. Which means that you're going to put your name in it.
Okay.
And then you're going to include emotion when you write your vision. And I want you to make it in the present tense. Because we're going to call those things that be not as though they are. Okay?
Okay.
So for instance, okay, so what would be one of your visions or your goals that you would want?
So bad at these things.
It's okay. No, this is good. I told you I'm going to stretch you.
I guess one of them would be just like the emotional freedom, just freedom from like bondage that just I keep.
Okay.
Fears.
All right.
And,
so how you could write this out is you would say, you can add a thing of thank you in there for God. So thank you, God, that I am set free now. Thank you that every day I wake up, I'm walking complete freedom. Everything of my past does not affect me anymore. Hurts in my past do not affect me. I don't even give it a second thought. Thank you that these have made me stronger today, that I'm going to even help set free other women and help them break free from everything that I've walked through. So that's what I'm saying. I want you to make it personal. Just say, I'm excited and I love the fact that God, you love me enough. You have set me free. I don't deal with these things anymore. So those are just some examples that you're going to create, like you're going to make them personal, and you're like, if there's money, goals, if there's health goals, even with your diastasis, okay, I want you to start believing for healing, because God has put an anointing on me to heal the cores of women. That's what he's called me to do. So that you're here, and you need to start saying, thank you that you brought me to Olivia, that you put this anointing on her, and I'm here, and you are healing my core through the anointing you've put on her. Not that it's me at all, but that you see what I'm saying? You're using this program, you're using everything to heal this. And so you just start speaking those things. So I want you to write out 5 different ones, and they can all be different. So, and then once one is done, I want you to cross it out, and then you can be like, oh my gosh, look what God has done. And then I want you to do another one. So you always have 5 going.
Okay.
Okay. So, in order for you to change your circumstances, okay, so you're going to have to change what you believe in your subconscious mind. Have you heard of Dr. Caroline Leaf?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm a Dr. Caroline Leaf nerd. And so, about all the bad trees, the good trees, everything, the subconscious mind. Okay. So really our subconscious minds are more powerful than our frontal mind. And that's what we have to start changing, because our body doesn't know the difference between truth and not truth. Okay, because we can tell our brain something enough, and then our body will start believing it. It's really crazy how God created us this way, but that's how he has. He's created us this way. Thank the Lord that he has, but it can also be bad, because when we walk in all this shame and guilt and unworthiness, and we have all these chains that are holding us down, then that's what our body is constantly looking for. It's looking for the truths that our mind is telling us. So therefore, if we have 5 victories in one day, and then we have 5 failures, our body's not going to remember the 5 victories. It's just going to focus on the failures. So you need to get to the point that you see and celebrate all these wins, that your body's looking for those instead of that it's looking for all the yucky things that happened. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So your belief system's going to have to change. And let's see what else I put in here. So that's the 5 things. Now, you're going to have these goals. You put these goals in. You can put these goals in your journal, okay? Your little composition notebook where you find your pictures, and then you glue them onto your journal. And then I want you to write those out. Or speak them out every day, twice a day, because let's just see if there's a person who will hit their goals. Okay, so New Year's resolutions, they'll say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and they say this, and they really never hit it. But the person that's going to look at their goals and say them at least twice a day for a year, you're going to be more apt to meet those goals than just setting it and forgetting it, right? And I want you to dream big, okay? Because you deserve that. You deserve big. And that's what you need to believe, because that's what God wants for us anyway. So how you see yourself, that's how you will be. So I want you to start changing how you view yourself. So that can even be a goal of how you need to vision yourself. Okay, and I need to write down some stuff before I forget. I have this truth card. I'm going to send you a truth card, or I'm going to take a picture of it for you. So you're going to do that. You're going to say those things twice a day. Now, you can't just do this. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, when you say these things, I tell people, if you are a feeler, I'm a feeler. So I can walk in a room and I can feel emotions of people. It's just who I am. Are you a feeler?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to really visualize these things that you're speaking. I want you to picture it, and I want you to feel it like it really happened. I don't want you just to speak it. Now, the other thing you can do is something I do. I record my, I have all these declarations I've recorded in my phone, and I listen to them while I put my makeup on. I listen to them when I'm in the bathtub. I listen to them when I'm doing the dishes. And so it's not just here, I do them, but I even try to get them in more than twice a day just by listening to them. And then sometimes there's something else that I'm dealing with, and I'll think, oh, that's another good declaration. I'm going to record that. So I have a little folder that says my declarations, where all my recordings are. And so it's my voice, and faith comes by what? Hearing. So we're going to keep, I don't want you just to read it. I want you to start speaking these things out so that it goes back into your ears and goes down into your spirit. Okay? So if you want to record on your phone, that's another good thing to do. Okay, so I don't want to overwhelm you with too much. So I'm trying to just kind of pick and choose through here what you can do. Okay. This is important, and maybe you do this. Do you have a nightly routine?
We have routine with the kids, and then I, take a bath, brush teeth, and stuff like that.
I always tell people, so our nighttime sets our mornings up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if there's anything you can do at night to try to get your routine going good, if you have a hard time working out, just go ahead and put your workout clothes out and have them sitting out and ready to go. And that way, even just have them, your workout shoes right there, so you can see them, and it can just be a reminder that it can become a habit. And so that's something that you can do too. All right, so now that you have that, here's the other things that I want you to do. Okay, and this is going to be part of your healing process, is whenever you hear a negative sentence about yourself, okay, whenever. Now, in the beginning, if you have time, you may not have time to do this. You write that sucker down and you cross it out and you write the opposite of what that is, and you start speaking the opposite, okay? Every time, and it may be a lot. Now, if you don't have time, I want you to start getting the habit of catching yourself. If you're saying, well, that was stupid, why did I do that? Or, I'm never going to get this done. I don't know if I'll really ever get to finish this. Pretty much I never finish what I start. Blah, blah, blah. These are just things that people say to themselves. That's a negative. I want you to start crossing those things out, or in your mind, visually cross it out and start speaking it. Even if you do not believe it yet, even if it's not your truth, you're going to speak it to where it becomes your truth. Okay, so when people go through healing, it's important to get through their past. But what people end up doing is sitting too long in your past. Your identity does not lay in that. It lies in the future, okay, of who you're going to be. And so you need to go ahead and deal with some issues that you've dealt with, but I don't want you to sit in, I want you to deal with it. I want you to, wherever there's hurt, wherever there's pain, I want you to get it out. Don't shove it. We have to get it out and know that hurt, that created some issues, because if we don't get it out, we can't deal with it. And then I want you to replace that with truth. That's the thing people don't do. They don't start replacing it with truth, and then they focus constantly on these past issues that have happened to them. So that's going to be part of the healing process. Okay? So what I'm going to do is send you... I'm going to take pictures, hopefully that will work, of some inner healing steps that you can go through. And I don't know if you're a reader, but I do love this book. It's really good. It helps you to overcome shame. And if you get it, as you read it, we can go through some of the things that stood out to you, and maybe some of the things that you're dealing with. It's from Alan Wright. It used to be called Shame Off You. But I think it's pretty cheap. Like, it was only $6.99. Yeah. And you can or you can get it on, I don't know if they have Kindle or not. But I think this is pretty much, I think this has a lot of freedom in this. So I told you I'm all about freedom. Okay. So those are some things. So those are the things that I would say to start with is that, and then the inner healing. And as you're going to go through some of these inner healing steps that I'm going to send to you. So some of the inner healing steps are, let me get some, hang on one second. No, not yet, baby. Okay, I don't really know if I can find them really quick in here, but this is something I'm going to take a picture of. So these are some truths. These are scriptures of truths of who you are, of God, who God says you are. And this is of who God is. So I'll send a picture of that to you. And the cool thing about what you're going to be going through, especially with the truths, is we all have a core belief system. Did I talk to you about this yet? On our call, I can't remember, but we have a faulty core belief system, and that can be how we were raised. So God put this identity in us. Okay, and then how we were raised, or if there was abuse, any kind of emotional abuse. And I'm not saying anything that your parents did or whatever, or somebody else did. It could even be teachers. What ends up happening is that comes into our core, and instead of the truth being their identity, lies take that place. So then we have this core belief system, and what that belief system is, it's our perception of how we view God, of how we view ourselves, and how we view others. And it's usually a faulty perception, and that's how we live our lives. That's how we relate to everybody. So digging up the lies and replacing them with truth, coming to the true identity of who God made us, is so important, because we want to relate to God, ourselves, and others with a true perception, and that will change. That's life-changing for us. So some of the inner healing things, and I don't know if you've been through any of these, but there's generational sins. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Soul ties. Have you heard of those? Inner vows.
Mm-mm.
Okay. There's just mental strong word curses, of course, unforgiveness. So those are some of the steps. And, this is kind of how, there's this little picture. These are core beliefs that are lies that are in our hearts, and it affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act. All of these. That gives you a good visual of that with all those lies in there. So, you need to start saying, and God, I know that there's lies in here somewhere from all these things. So I'm giving you these lies. And I just ask right now that you will take these lies out and replace them with your truths.
Mommy, can I have some crackers?
I don't think we have crackers. And so that's what we need. We need to replace those truths with lies. All right. So see, this says something happens in our lives, usually before the age of 12. It can be hurtful words, a traumatic event, an impacting experience, or the perception that something was hurtful, traumatic, and impacting. So an examples can having a critical or abusive parent, being sexually abused, having a sick sibling, being in a wrecked car. I mean, all these things can create faulty core beliefs. You just never know. And stuff can even happen in the womb, which is crazy. So some of these things you'll go through unforgiveness. You'll go through some forgiveness steps. You'll go through breaking inner vows. So an inner vow could be, this is kind of crazy. So this guy used to say, let me start from the end to take you to the beginning. And it would say he was in a grocery store with his wife, and he was like, buying all this Coke, all these Cokes, different Cokes, and putting them in the basket. She was like, honey, I think that's enough. I don't think we need that many. He was like, I can have Cokes in my house if I want to. And well, what ended up, she was like thinking, this is crazy. Well, what he found out was in his home growing up, they never, ever let him have Cokes, ever. So he said to himself, I will always have Cokes in my house, no matter what. Okay, so that's an inner vow. And I know that sounds crazy, but it can harm us. So if a parent acts a certain way and we don't like it and we say we will never, ever do this, that's an inner vow, and it kind of makes us stick. So we have to be able to say, we're going to break those inner vows, because we want to be able to let God, if God can't work in us very well when we have an inner vow, because that door is closed off to him. So we want him to be able to come work with that. And so there's prayers in here that are going to help you with all this. And so as you go through this, I will actually, if you say, hey, I need you to help me on this forgiveness issue, or let's go through this with the inner vow things, or if there's some mental strongholds you need to do. So yes, I want you to go through and be able to get this healing. But once it's done, I want you to believe that God has replaced these truths, so you don't sit in this. Okay, and we're layers. Okay, we're layers. There may be something that comes up that I go, oh my goodness, I thought I was completely healed and I went from A to D. So there's an A. If you have a situation to where you're like, something happened here, but it threw you all the way over to D really fast, like you freaked out like that fast, instead of A, B, C, D progression, and you went like this, that usually means there's an area in your life that needs dealt with. So I found out I have a filter with her because of the abuse that I went through when I was younger. I told you I was sexually abused by 4 different people. So I've forgiven and I have healing. Well, I haven't ever had a little girl. I've had boys. Well, if she is in a play area, I am like a hawk. If there's a boy beside her and there's somewhere and I can't see him, like my insides are going crazy. Like I can't see her. I don't know what's happening. And then like if kids are like at 4 years old, they're curious about their anatomy. Well, that happened this last weekend, and with another 4-year-old friend, just being kids, and that made me go wham. And my husband said, babe, I think the way you're responding is probably this filter thing. And I was like, you're so right, because I overreacted. So I get to deal with that now. I'm like, okay, I've had healing, but now, God, what do you want me to do with it? Now I have to trust you. Now maybe I'm not trusting. So just when we worry, anytime we worry, we're picturing a future that we don't believe God's in because we're worrying. And so it's like we don't really believe God's in there, in that future somewhere. And that's just really important for me to focus on, because he is there. And we have so much.
Mama, can you give me some cereal without milk?
We don't have cereal, honey.
Yes, it's up there.
I don't know. That cereal is probably really old if there's cereal up there.
But you have to find some of it.
Not right this second. I told you that I will give you an orange when I get off the phone, okay? All right. I want you to get out of the pantry, okay? Look at Mommy's eyes. Yes, Mommy. Go back in there. She is walking right there. Really? No. That doesn't go in there. No, that goes back in there. Okay. So, Yeah, just being able to trust. So this is a whole process, you know. We're never going to be perfect, but I will tell you, getting out of shame. Like I used to walk into church with my head hung down. Like I used to walk and not feel worthy. I used to anywhere, like because of so much junk I went through, and now I can walk in with my head held high and have confidence. I mean, how in the world do I get online and do videos? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I don't even, and like everything's not perfect like some women are. It's like there's my house is a mess, my hair is a mess some days, or I don't have enough makeup on or whatever. And I just think, I don't care, you know, and so God has healed me so much in that area so I can be free to be me. And that's what he wants us to do. So if you've already had some healing, I pray that this is going to water seeds that have already been planted and that you get freedom, you know, how God wants you to have. So that's a lot to tell you to do all in one shot, but you know, this is how we can start, is creating a vision. Number one, you have to create a vision, because if you go through your healing but you don't have a vision of where you want to go, sometimes you're just going to sit in it. So I want to combine all of these, the declarations, the truths, the healing, the vision, all of it, so that you can have freedom. Okay. Yeah. It's so funny. This is so funny. I didn't even see this here, but God has given me Isaiah 61 for my life over and over and over. You know that. And then I just looked down. I was fixing to tell you that, and look what was there. So just to set the captives free, that's my heart. So that's what I want for you. Okay, so do you have questions of anything we've gone over? Or does this sound like it's going to be hard for you? Do you have apprehensive? I mean, are you apprehensive? How are you doing?
No, I like to kind of know the big picture, but then it be like know the steps to get there. So it helps, like, you know, and I'm kind of a take it all in and then process it for, you know, over, you know, several days or whatever. So I just, I'm excited. I feel like the last couple of years it's just felt like one big, like, spiritual attack. Like, I've just been, I don't know. Anyway, but
you've had a wilderness season, I guess.
I was kind of writing out like all the things, maybe over the weekend, just that I really struggle or believe or fear, and it's just kind of overwhelming. And even with asking my husband to do this one-on-one was kind of hard, because I knew he wouldn't say no, but I've had, just since we've been married, like, I've tried so many things. Like, I used to, quote, have it all together on the outside, you know, if somebody looked at me eating, well, yeah, from the outside looking in, like food and weight and working out and all that. But anyway, since we've had kids, like, I've tried and then gained back, or, you know, just all that. And so it was just weird this time. I was just even just afraid to ask him.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I guess, just kind of believing that about myself, that I probably won't even be able to do this. But
you're gonna do this. You can do this. You're gonna do this. You can do this. You can. And look, you've already, the first step I tell women is, and I haven't told you this, but it's because you already did it. So you're ahead than other women. It's called massive action. What'd you do? What'd you do? You paid for this program. That's massive action.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, one of the reasons, now, not really. My business coaches want me to price this at $3,000 for me. And I'm like, I'm not there yet. I don't think I'm going to do that yet. So I have charged that, but I have to go with what a peace where I feel in my heart with God. And, but the thing is they said, Olivia, when you put a price on something like this, the women take it seriously. Like they're in it to win it when they pay the price. And you're in this, and I am in this for transformation for women. So even when people do my boot camp, if I had the same information in there, they don't get through it like you will. They're not going to get through it. And I can't work with them one-on-one, so I don't know, but even if I, like, I'm trying to put some of this information in there for women, but it's still not going to be the same. Like, you probably wouldn't even look at some of it. It's not the same. So you took massive action and you're here. So that is the biggest step to overcome. So many women will say, oh, I just can't do it. I can't afford it. I can't do this. And some women literally can't afford it. But when I'm working with one client one-on-one right now. So most of all my one-on-one clients succeed and do an amazing job. But I have one that's just not really doing it. And I'm like, I am here for you. Why are you not taking advantage of me? Like, you're almost over. Why are you not doing this? So I'm like, in my mind, I think if it was $3,000, would you have done it?
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet. But I'm just, I love the fact that you're here. And these are you've shown this is what I want to do. Okay. And you get Dancy and you get Janine with all of this, but this for me, what we're doing today, if you see a pyramid, the mindset and emotions, to me, this is the foundation. It's the bottom. I don't know if you watched my video with Amanda yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So we really had to work through mindset with her. So she was like 90% of it is emotions and mindset. And it is. It's the beliefs. So you're going to get there. It's going to be good. So here's one more thing I want you to do. Because, and when we got trained in counseling, to do counseling with people, she said, Olivia, I don't work with women or people when they don't do this. If they come into my office and they said, no, I haven't been doing this, she says, I don't work with them. I'm like, okay, but I'm still going to work with you. But I'm just telling you, it's called a God flip. And what we do is we take the Bible, this is in the Bible, you open it up and you just start reading. You start reading until something pops out at you and highlights out at you. And I know this works because my husband and I will go do our own little quiet times and we'll do a God flip and we open up and God will tell me and him almost the same exact thing. So I want you to see what's highlighted to you in this God flip and ask God what he wants you to see in it. And you know what? And one day, maybe it's not even for you. Maybe it's a word for somebody else that day. I don't know. But then, so after you do that, I want you, my husband told me this and I had a massive breakdown. I always say Jesus in skin to me. He's helped me to understand unconditional love like no other. And he told me, he would sit there and he would write in his journal all these things that God was telling him. I love you. You are my favorite son. You were this. You were da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, because I had so much shame, I was like, that's kind of prideful or that's kind of whatever. And he was like, no, it isn't. So he challenged me to sit down and ask God, what are his thoughts towards me? That was tough for me. That might be easy for you. I don't know, but it was hard. And when he would say, you are my beloved daughter and I love you, you're the apple of my eye, and writing that down, I mean, I started bawling and crying because that is how God sees me. And anything that does not line up with that, anything that's a negative, that isn't God's thoughts towards you. So don't write those down. But I would say do God flips, and at the same time, after you do that, say, what do you want me to know about this scripture? And how I want you to tell me your thoughts towards me. And you sit and be still until you hear something positive. And even if you think it's your brain, you write it down. Even if you think, if he says, I love you, Kylee, then write, I love you, Kylee. Write it down. Okay? So that's going to be just really important to do. So those are a lot of steps here. So what did I tell you? I need to write these out. Vision. Vision. Number 2. Pictures. Number 3, your 5 goals / visions. Say those twice a day. I'm writing these in steps. God flips. Ask God what he says about us. God's his thoughts towards you. That book, if you want to read it. On top of everything else I'm asking you to do, you know. And, you know, you don't have to do all this week. So we're just going to do this, you know, in the inner healing steps. What I'm trying to figure out is I have these amazing, sometimes, you know, you have these breakdowns of things that people have given you and it's wonderful, but there's some stuff in it you're like, I don't like, and you could type it up and make it your own, because the lady who went through all of just this part with me, she was like, you use this however you want, you know, with your ladies or whatever. But I think this is a good one. It's just really simple. But so I'm trying to figure out how to get this to you. Maybe you know, like all these pages to you and not have to write them out. So do you think I could like fax them or something? Or I don't know how that would work. So it would come together pretty simple for you.
Yeah.
I have this little picture taker. Maybe I just need to pay somebody and say, type up for me, please.
Scan it and like...
Yeah, scanning it.
Email it, or I don't know.
Yeah, but do you think it would come together? I mean, don't you think it might be better like in an ebook format?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. Because I think reading the whole thing would actually be a better experience for you. And it's real. Now, do you believe in deliverance?
Like making it past.
Okay, so this says, simply put, deliverance is telling any demonic influence in our lives to leave. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't want to, some people are like, well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But this is part of working with me. So we're going to get you freedom. All right. So do you have any other thing like that you want to talk about before? Because I just gave you a lot.
I don't know. I mean, well, I was just looking at things I jotted down here. I listened to, it was a video that you did with Tara on
Schmeck.
Yes, yeah.
Did you see the little cheat sheets?
Yeah.
Okay,
but I think she had said something like, well, you both were talking about it, you know, like if there's trigger foods or whatever, like
trigger and
keep 'em
buffer.
out, you know, a lot of people say keep them out of the house or whatever. But then like learning, like if they're in the house, like how to
Not deprive yourself, but say, I choose not to.
Yes. Like
Mhm.
I was like that has just been, I don't know, I've just been kind of stewing over that because I need to be in a place like that because like I just have no control. Like if they're,
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know. I mean, I think it just stems from so many things and probably control from, you know, my mom over, you know, food or what I looked like, and then just emotional stuff, you know, that I deal with now and
Okay, so
whatever.
jot
But
these notes down real quick. So for inner healing, I want you to put mom and food. And then I want you to also, maybe one of your 5 goals will be to overcome emotional eating. Because I want you to start speaking it, because how many times have you told yourself you're an emotional eater? Do you say that a lot? Or do you think that a lot? Or stress eater, or emotional eater, or something? Okay. So you've identified yourself like that. So we're going to start identifying yourself something different. Okay. And I mean, some of your declarations can be things like, I am not an emotional eater. I have a healthy relationship with food. You know, food does not control me. I get to choose what I eat, what I don't eat. Nutritious food in my body. It excites me. It makes me feel better. I mean, this is a total mindset shift change and just getting you to speak and think differently about food. It starts here because, again, I can continue saying this, but as a man thinketh, so is he. That's what God says. And what does he tell us to think on? He says to think on these things that are pure and lovely and holy. And when we are thinking, I'm an emotional eater, I have no control over this food, you say, no, I have one of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control, and I walk in self-control. I am dead to the old man. I'm a new creation in Christ. I mean, these are the things that you speak over and over again, and that's how you will change. And if you just try to will it to be, you're gonna fail. If I'm going to a party or something, I can't have that cookie. I can't have this cake. I just can't have it. There's a cookie in the pantry. I can't have it. Oh, it's going to just add 10 pounds on me. I can't have it. Well, that's going to make me want it even more. So I can change my mind and think there's cookies, and I can have one when I'm ready. I can have one, you know, and then I can have one another day. So that's better to me. Eating one cookie a day is better than eating 3 to 5 in a row, because that's what's going to happen if you're trying to white knuckle through everything. That's what the isogenics for me is. Okay, so women deal with diastasis. So I deal with, this is the craziest thing ever. Since I've had Brie, I have cellulite on my body, and people don't, like, I really do. And I've never had that. And I'm a trainer. And it was getting to the point that it was like on my brain all the time, because I would think, why would people want to work with me if I'm a trainer and I have cellulite on my body and blah, 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 blah. And I would tell my husband, I'd say, I don't understand the cellulite stuff. Like, this is how bad it would be. I'm in a restaurant and I'm looking at these ladies and their legs. And I said, do you see that lady right there? And he's like, and I'll go, you can tell she doesn't work out much, like not much. And she has no cellulite. I said, do you see this woman? And he's like, yeah. I said, do you see all the muscles on her? And I said, she got cellulite on her legs. And he's like, yeah. I said, this makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense. And so that's been something I've had to walk through and start speaking. I said, wow, I've got to do what I'm telling my clients to do. So that's something I have been working on too. You know, there's always going to be something, but getting in and saying, I love my legs. Oh my gosh, I love my body, whatever. And boy, it just helps me. I can't help what my body's going to do. If it's hormones or if it's this or if it's that, we are who we are, and just loving who we are in the midst of even imperfections is so important. So yeah, people are always like, oh, Liv, you look so cute, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, well, you haven't seen my legs underneath these pants, and you have not seen the cellulite. And people think, no, I'm like, yeah, it's there. So I'm just telling you, just not speaking that, or if you feel like you're overweight, and if you just focus on that, because what we focus on is what we end up getting. So I want you to focus on not where you are, focus on where you want to be, focus on health, focus on nutrition, focus on, why. Okay, so at Christmas time, my mom, I had my Uncle Tim who has COPD, my aunt was on oxygen, my other aunt has diabetes, and my mom has had back surgery and lives in chronic pain, and I'm looking at him going, I do not want this to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I am going to be healthy and strong and take care of my body. And so those are some of a lot of my motives. So finding motivating factors that's going to keep you there for a long time. Your why, your vision. That's why that's so important.
Yeah. I got carpal tunnel from pregnancy, which I've never heard of. And I have to wear braces every night, and it just is awful. But there's a part of me that thinks, if I lose weight, maybe that, pressure on the nerves will go down, and I can wear my wedding ring that I haven't worn in 7 years.
Yeah.
And I can ride rides and feel comfortable, but something that just came to me was like my husband, has a big sweet tooth, and or even if we're outside mowing or doing something, and he'll be like, oh, let's just get pizza, we don't have to mess with making something, or let's go get ice cream. But I just realized when he says that, it's like he gives me permission. I'm like,
yes,
he is
okay, yeah,
oh, I can, because if my mom, we'd stop somewhere, I don't know, growing up, or or if she's made something at home, like it was just that permission thing. I've never really connected with my husband there's issues there, I can really control myself and to a T with my eating and stress myself out. And I can't eat that. I can't even go to family holidays because, I don't want people to ask why I'm not eating that, or I don't want people to notice that I've lost weight, even though I want to, because then that acknowledges that I am was overweight, or, at whatever point at. There's just a lot of lack of confidence.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's from in here. Yeah, and how you feel about you.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got to focus on.
Yeah.
And also being able to have what you were saying, and healthy thoughts toward food. That's what I was. Oh, see, I'm such a bunny, squirrel, or rabbit, whatever. If you can keep up with me, sometimes I'm this big picture person, and sometimes my husband's like, "What?" I'm sorry, my brain went so fast, my mouth couldn't keep up with it. So the reason I started with isogenics was because, hormones had kicked in, weird things started happening at 43 to me, belly fat that I had never really dealt with. And I thought, well, I need to try something. And I have a husband like that who all he wants is, well, he might eat whatever, but mine just wants meat and potatoes. He'll do spaghetti, tacos, pizza, hamburgers, all of that, chicken fried steak, baked potato soup. I mean, those are the things he wants. And on top of it, there's chocolate in my house all the time because of him. And I never really liked sweets until I was married to him. And so I really deal with those thoughts of, oh my gosh, there's candy in there. There's chocolate in there. And so what helps me is I can go and I can get 3 pieces. But the thing what I got with Isogenics was it's, you know, the whole system is the shakes a day. So I know, like, if I don't have time to meal prep, I have a healthy meal replacement shake, and it actually keeps me full. Okay, I have, he wants to go have ice cream. Fine, I'm going to have a shake, and I'll have a small scoop of ice. You know, I'll have my shake and a small scoop. So I have it there to actually balance everything out that he does and I do. And it's all superfood nutrition. So I get to give it to Bree, and it's all this nutrients are going to my body. And so I needed something that was going to help me in this household. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then I'm not just meal prepping for me. Yeah. I make my healthy snacks or whatever, but I really got off track because of my husband's eating. So learning how to do that again, and just something that's fast and quick, it's just been so much easier where I don't even have to think about it. So I understand with the whole sweet stuff in the house. They like sweets, and in the permission that they give you of, you know, or he's such a giver that he'll say, "Oh, look, honey, what I brought you," and it's a candy bar. Thank you. And then I feel bad if I don't eat it, right? Because he wanted to bless me with it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, thanks, babe. But could you bring me like something healthy? Maybe bring me something else that I like. I would love that. He brought me home Ben and Jerry's everything but ice cream. This is like one of my favorites. Everything in it. I'm like going, oh. But and I think, okay, you know what? I can eat. That's where I go. I choose not to have that today, or I get to have like bites, and I'm not feeling deprived because I get to have some. But if I feel like I can't ever have it, then it's just constantly in my brain burning a hole because I want it and I need it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you watched those videos. Those are some really good videos. Yeah. So Tara, I love Tara. But I think it's so funny. She's not a Christian, but I watch God putting Christian people around her. She's very smart with health and nutrition, but she kind of believes whatever. Like she'll say, pray for me, send your angels, send good vibes, do this, do that. And so, but God keeps putting Christian women around her. And I just think it's hilarious. So I just felt like I was supposed to talk to her about Isogenics and go to her. And then I started finding out that there are all these other Christian women in her life. And I was like, oh, God's after her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but she's a neat lady. I really like her.
Yeah. I have liked the protein, like in the greens, for the belly buster at night. And I've thought about getting some of the shake powder just to have for, like if, I'm here with the kids and it's just sometimes overwhelming, whenever I have to make myself them something and, just, and then at night, if I make, a taco salad for them, then I've got to make like some other protein or whatever to go in mine that's not meat or whatever. So can be.
Oh yeah, because you are vegetarian.
Yeah.
And so maybe, you know what, because that's right. Nancy always copies me over email. She likes me to see how the clients are doing. And I was like, oh, because I was thinking about you. I thought she could get some protein in from the shake. So you have the dairy-free option?
Well, I do. I eat dairy and eggs.
You'll do whey, right?
And, yeah. I sometimes it's so weird. And it's not even healthy stuff. I could eat bacon if it's not real thick, or hot dogs, beef ones. we had Monday. I don't even understand it. Because,
That
but
you,
mentally,
yeah,
or I do the collagen if
that's
I mix
good.
it in with a smoothie.
Yeah,
But I did dissolve it in some green tea because I thought yesterday,
I
because
do
I
that
thought,
all the time.
well, mentally, like it's just weirds me out, but it was okay yesterday. But I'm doing the 3-day
Debloat.
debloat, and so it's kind of been stressed, like what can I eat or not eat, and so.
Yes, and I think it's only 3 days. It's just only 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always curious to see how it helps people with bloating. Dancy, she goes back and forth. She doesn't like to recommend a lot of powders for women, and I get that because if it does create bloating for some people, not healthy. But but then, so the 3-day debloat, I don't know if she says don't do powders. I can't remember what she does. I just let her do her own thing with y'all. And but I do a mixture of Isogenics and Trim Healthy Mama. So that's what I love. And it works really well for me, and it makes me feel satisfied and happy. Because, do you know Trim Healthy Mama?
I've kind of looked at it.
Yeah.
Is it kind of different combining or?
Yeah, so all it is it's just, a lot of people make it harder than it is. So it's a fat, or it's a carb, or it's a crossover, which is both, and that's what you don't want to have if you're trying to lose weight, or it's a fuel pull, which means low carb, low fat, which a lot of trainers are going to teach you low carb, low fat. But they teach you that the fat and the carbs, you know, your body, it's two fuel sources. So your body's going to burn the carbs first, and the fat's going to stay there. So if you just eat the fat, it's just one fuel source that your body has to burn. And so there you go. And then you can wait 3 to 4 hours to eat your other meal if you want more carb. So you would focus more on carb protein and then have your carbs. So you always do a protein with something. And so but to me, with Trim Healthy Mama, okay, we'll get up there and grab one. Get your stool and grab an orange. But so what was I saying? I like Trim Healthy Mama because they have these satisfying high fat meals or snacks. And so I love it. And I know that I'm eating the fat, but what my body was doing, because I've tried keto. So if I just do some of the fat, my body needs more carbs. Like I was literally standing up and black would come, like I'd get dizzy. And
yeah.
So the isogenic shakes provides enough carbs for me. It's balanced fat, carbs, and protein. So all your macros are balanced really well. And so that's helped me out a lot. So then I wait a good amount between what I've just drank, and then I can have my satisfying snacks. Or, you know, like they have these avocado pudding creams. Oh, so good. And like for my birthday was May 15th, but my mom made me a birthday yesterday, and she got me another Trim Healthy Mama cookbook. We love them. And so I was so excited. And it's called Heavy Lovin' Chicken. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like this chicken, and you roll it in, like you put all this butter, and you melt this butter, and you put it all on the chicken, and then you roll it in like Parmesan and nutritional yeast. And it has all these like parsley flakes and other like garlic and onion. And it is the best chicken ever. You bake it. And then we just do a salad with it and maybe chop up some avocados. So it's just a real satisfying meal. And that fat helps me to feel full. But I've realized I need more protein, and Isogenics helps me get my protein in. And that's because my muscles weren't growing good enough. It's like I was losing more muscle as I aged. So I can tell now, even with my arms, I was showing my mom my arm muscles again. She was like, oh. I said, I know, I needed all this protein and I have more energy. Like, she's like, you didn't even need naps lately. I said, I know that this Isogenics, this Ionic Supreme and everything. I said, I can get through my workouts and everything. So she was like, okay.
You do that one to cook. I'll put this one.
But yeah, so now I get to do a combination of the two, and it makes me happy. So I have to, if you know my personality, it has to be fun, and I have to be happy. So yeah, if you have questions or want to know about it, just let me know. It's, I would tell people it's not for everybody, but because some people think, oh, I miss chewing the food. But if I know I'm going to have, you just do 2 shakes until you, no, you can have an apple or an orange. You can't have both.
Okay, I'll have this apple tonight.
Okay.
And I'll have this orange later.
Okay. But if you're supposed to have 2 shakes a day until you meet your goal. And then you can do maintenance with just 1 shake a day. And then they do the cleansing, which is kind of like a fasting, a nutritional supported fast. And so I was already doing some intermittent fasting. So that's helped me out. But it's not for everybody.
Can I cut it?
Can you cut? No, I'm going to cut it.
But let me cut it. Just show me.
Look at look what she has on. Grandma. Okay, baby. Well, okay, you can try it. How old are your kids?
4 and 6.
4 and 6. Okay, where are they at?
Playing.
Oh, they're doing
hopefully
good.
Being nice to each other.
And are they? I can't remember. I have to keep. Is it girls?
Girls, yeah.
Girls. Okay. Yeah.
I tell them, like, it is so nice to have somebody to play with. Like, I didn't have anybody to play with. Like, be nice to each other.
Oh, yeah. I know she's kind of like an only child, and sometimes I'm like, can we just adopt a child? Not to help them, to help me. So she can play with somebody, because sometimes I'm like, yes, I'll play with you again. Yes, hang on, honey, just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been real. This has been a whole nother thing for me, because my boys, they had each other growing up.
Yeah.
So, my oldest he's 27.
He lets me punch him.
He does let me punch him. He likes to, he's your wrestling brother, isn't he? Yeah. And my baby boy, he just turned 21. So.
Yeah.
And then here she is, but I have a stepdaughter who is, she just turned 17. So there's just this, I've got 3 step kiddos, and one of my sons is 22 and my stepdaughter's 22, and I have another stepson who's 20.
Yeah.
So they're all just older.
Yeah. I have a stepson, he's 19.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Lives in Florida, so.
Didn't you tell me that?
Yeah. He's kind of going through his home.
Yeah.
Right now, so.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. So, well, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all this information. I'm going to figure out the best way. I'm going to ask my husband, what do you think is the best way to do this? Because he's pretty smart about that stuff. And then, sorry. Okay. Is there anything else? Are you good? Are you good with everything? Is that too much? Is it overwhelming?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So when I get off here, after I get her situated again, I'm going to play with her for just a second. And then I'll send you all this other stuff. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
So tomorrow is it?
Yeah, I've got to make sure with Janine that tomorrow is good. And then sometimes I have to wait on her if she's like booked with clients, and then she can check how you're doing. Have you been doing some of your?
Don't forget Rachel.
Rachel? Oh. So, look, there's somebody.
He's like, hi. It's Annabelle.
Hi, Annabelle. Have you been doing some of the rotations?
Yes, I've been doing those every day.
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
good.
going to ask, is it just kind of a fluid open, close with inhale, exhale, or do I hold it open for a while?
That would be, ask her tomorrow and see. I would say more, I don't know what she's going to say.
I've been doing that.
For me, I just would maybe just hold for a little, and then I don't know, maybe it's fluid, but let's see what she says. And then we will, the only thing is I just want to make sure you keep your ribs in and down so you don't open it up.
Hi. Hi.
Come over here.
Hi.
So do you feel like like you're opening up at all or anything? Flaring your ribs. That's the only thing that bothers me about that one, but you just have to be careful with it.
I have a cute little tiara.
It is cute. I do this morning when I was doing it, because on all the stretches that I did yesterday in the boot camp, focused on keeping the ribs,
Just a minute.
Okay.
everything just in line. And this morning when I was doing the rotation,
Right.
I thought, oh no, I haven't really been focusing on that. I've just been focusing on, opening up. And
Yes. So, yeah. So when you do those with hers, just focus on trying to keep those ribs in and down,
Okay.
and you'll get it. I always have to make sure to tell you that, because sometimes she'll say things that are they're good. They work great. You just have to do them safely.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, she's not ever even seen my program, but God put us together and worked so well together that it's pretty cool. So, all right. Well, I will send you all this stuff here in a little bit.
Okay.
And y'all have a good day. Bye,
Thank
girls.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Oh, I have a big mess up there.
You do.